With the 2025 NFL draft gone, we can finally say it. Shedeur Sanders got drafted. Yes, 144, round 5, the Cleveland Browns. The reaction was great from him. So, as everyone may be, mixed emotions, mixed feelings, all that stuff, I'm pretty sure he's happy to see that he got drafted no matter what of the day. And let's get into the interesting things about the draft just overall. And we're just going to go quarterbacks because I can go in because I'm surprised Kobe Bryant from Kansas did not get drafted. And I thought he was a great player, but I guess his draft or analysts and all that stuff, GMs think otherwise, which is kind of shocking. But getting into this list, of course, we're going to break down all the quarterbacks that got drafted. We have Cam Ward, number 1, of course, Dart, number 25, Shaw, 40, Milroe, 92, Gabriel, 94, Sanders, 144, McCord, 181, Howard, 185, Leonard, 189, Mertz, 197, Mellott is, I believe that's how you say it, 213, Cam Miller, 215, Roki, 227, and Ewers, 231. So with all those being drafted, you just got to think there's probably a few other quarterbacks on the board that could have been drafted. But at the same time, I guess this is the best of the best. And I like to do in like metrics or categories because in terms of age, the oldest one out of the draft that got drafted is Shaw, which is who is 25 years old. And then the second is Dillon Gabriel, who is 24 years old. And then also tied with that is Mertz, who is also 24 years old. And then everybody else, Roki is also 24 years old. So out of those picks with the QBR rating, it gets pretty odd because of course you have Ward number 1 and he got picked number 1. But then you have Dart, who was number 4, he got picked 25. Shaw was number 22 in QBR rating, got picked 40. Milroe was 8 and got picked 92. So just popping it up on the screen, this is all the players. And one of the shocking ones is Roki from Indiana, who had a QBR rating and was number 3 and got picked 227. I don't know if age played the factor, but I thought that was very interesting. And plus also Will Howard. That was also another one that was kind of like, hey, 185, and then your QBR rating is 7. And then, you can also say Gabriel, but then again, age, I guess, can also play a factor. But in terms of how they were picking, it definitely probably blew people for not being able to keep up. But I think there's other factors that contribute to this. So the NFL is finally healing, or I should say NCAA is finally healing, because you have a lot of the super seniors, like they call them, COVID years, injuries, a lot of people who, have extended their time there are starting to, either get drafted or not play anymore. So I think that is starting to play a factor in, I guess, these GMs overlooking or underlooking a lot of players. And then, of course, you have to look into NIL money, because with NIL money, I think for the most part, a lot of the ones that got drafted were on here for NIL money. And I'll pop up each one just going through it. So you had Cam Ward, you had Dart, Shaw, Milroe, Gabriel, Sanders, McCord, Howard, Leonard. Mertz didn't get anything at North Dakota State, or he wasn't on 3, which I got the NIL money from. Mellott wasn't on there. Cam Miller wasn't on there. Roki, he wasn't on there. And then Ewers was on there. So there's only 4 out of the picks here, 4 out of the 14 that were not on the NIL, I guess, payment plan, that you could call it. But in terms of that, the highest payer was Shedeur Sanders with $5 million. So his NFL contract is not going to be close to what he got paid in college. And a lot of people right now are making, pretty much videos about, how much he'll be missing out on, or they're doing blogs about how much he'll be missing out on. And honestly, a lot of the quarterbacks that did not get drafted which is pretty much 12 out of the 14 in the first round. And I mean, second round, you get a little bit of money, but out of the first round, won't get paid nearly as close to what they get paid if they just stayed another year, if they could have stayed another year in college. So in terms of everything overall, this draft was different. I did think that a lot of picks were kind of interesting to see, considering number one, this is like the main part where I did not get understand anything. The Browns had the number 2 pick. They traded that pick, or just pretty much gave it away. So if everything would have worked out, you could have had Travis Hunter, number 2. And then later on in the draft, seeing how far Sanders fell, you could have picked him up. You could have had a duo back again, but I really don't know or understand why the Browns decided to do the way they did it. But that's just what we're going to have to deal with. And then another situation with the Browns, you drafted 2 quarterbacks. Dillon Gabriel, 24, and then you have Sanders, 23. Phenomenal quarterbacks, but at the same time, you have now 5 quarterbacks that's going to be basically competing. I don't necessarily think Joe Flacco is going to be competing, but at the same time, he still wants a spot. I'm pretty sure it's going to be competitive. Kenny, don't really know much about. And then, of course, you got Watson facing injury. In my opinion, it's going to be between Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, but that's just me. But in terms of business-wise, I know Watson is still going to at least either get playing time, or they're going to have to figure that out because they just paid him a ton of money. So that money is still going to be, pretty much pouring out of the Cleveland Browns organization until Watson is handled. So overall, great 2025. It's good to see that Shedeur Sanders did get picked up because this is a follow-up video. But the underrated news is also his brother just got signed undrafted to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm gonna end it with that. What do you guys think of the draft? Do you think it was interesting or not? Overall, I feel like it was hectic. I really expected Kobe Bryant to get picked because that highlight there where he hit the dude for force fumble. I don't know. I felt me and my coworker were saying the Texans should have drafted him. Yeah, it is what it is. Leave comments down.